You can start recording via your mobile phone. You can share the meeting. You can turn off the video. And the dial pad is for dialing out if we have a PBX system. What I do suggest if you are using the mobile app while you're on the road is just to turn off your incoming video. That will reduce the lag of the meeting as well as save you a lot of bandwidth. So in terms of the desktop version now, when you join, thankfully lots of you guys did put your audio on mute. But what I did suggest in the meeting, the document before the meeting, was to make sure everything's working before you join. And this is basically what I was referring to, is just clicking on the PC and mic, just making sure when you're talking, your other attendees can hear you. So as with Skype, you have to make a test call, you'll phone a robot, you'll talk and repeat, and everything's fine, you're good to go. In terms of the video, there are two options. You can turn your video on or off, your camera. If you turn it on, you have a second option to either blur the back. You can either have it normal, you see yourself. Otherwise, you can blur the background, which will be the top right over here. Otherwise, you got a whole bunch of other options you can choose. So if you choose this one of the clouds, the AI will put your face in there and the balloons will be in the background. So you guys can give it a try if you want, otherwise you can do it later on. Within the meeting, again, there are more settings. You click the three buttons, which you guys can do now if you want. And you can see whatever you want. Background effects are going to change over there. Turn off incoming video. It speaks for itself. This is where things get pretty cool. So I'm doing some screen sharing now, which is the third button. And when you click on that, you can choose what elements of your presentation you'd like to display. So I've got my laptop and I've got my secondary screen over here, but you can go granular in terms of what application is shared. And even you can start looking at specific tabs. As part of the screen share option, you get a whiteboard, which will be where you can draw things. So you'll log onto the whiteboard, you can brainstorm, you can do all sorts of things. It's actually pretty cool. There's a desktop application which will give you more, which is, again, it's free for Teams subscriptions, where it'll give you a far more richer experience with more highlighted pens and just generally better. So when I was in the whiteboard app, it took me quite a while to work out how to get out, because it turns your whole screen white, but I'll discuss that in the live demo. But if you do right click on the bottom left, you'll see there'll be a stop presentation for presenting. You can share the link of your image to people within your meeting, outside your meeting, as well as export the image. You would have noticed when I pushed record that a little bar on the top came to say that I'm being recorded, or I'm recording everything. I tried to find more information about the privacy policy, but I did run out of time. So just read more over here. To record, hit those three little buttons and go start recording. After this session, the recording will be uploaded to my OneDrive folder, where I can then open it up in Stream and then transcribe everything automatically. It's not 100%. I'd say it's probably 70 to 80% accurate. So you do have the opportunity to go through the script, the transcript, and then make adjustments. With Microsoft Streams will probably be a nice second webinar we can touch on. Okay, so some terminology before we start getting into what each part of Teams does. A team is basically a group of people that you want to put together. So you can view it as a department. A nice analogy I heard was subjects. So you can have biology, maths, geography, and then within each team, you got a whole bunch of channels. So by default, general is set, will automatically be created, and then you can make more channels based on that. And the channel will be things specific to that channel. Okay, oops, I know why that's over there, sorry. A thread, so within each channel now you can then chat to each other. And so this will be a topic, so you can see the latest WHO awareness. That'll be one topic, and an editable version is something else. So if you want to reply on a topic, you reply over here, and then you have everything within a thread. This is very important because if you start replying to the bottom, so there'll be another section over here, then you may have multiple conversations on the go. So there's no way of tracking what's being said. So it's always important to stick to this thread reply. Again, I'll show that to you later on. Okay, to create a team, super easy. Within your left bar, right at the bottom left here, you click Create Team, and then you follow the steps. What you want the team to be called? Is it a public, private team? Give it a name, give it a description, and then you can start adding members. You don't have to add members straight away. You can do it later on, and there'll be a skip button. So adding members later on, we'll discuss just now. Once everything's done, this is what you'll see. On the top over here, these are default tabs, posts, files, wiki. You can add additional ones. Again, discuss later. Once the team has been created, it will be displayed on the left here. As you can see, we've got a whole bunch over here based on different departments or logical entities. You click on these three dots here, you can manage a team, add channel. Here you can add more members, you can edit the team, you can copy this link and then send this link via email, WhatsApp, whatever, to another person. The moment they click on that, they'll be added to this team. As I said over here, so here's the link over here. So just copy and send that off. With adding the team, you don't have to. You can add mention. Otherwise, you can put an email address in there. Okay, so team management. This is the tab I was showing you on the top over there. Posts, wiki, and files. So posts is basically where everything happens in each team. It's where you chat, no matter what happens. Whatever you type or discuss, meeting minutes will be displayed in this post section. The file section is where all files that have been attached via a meeting, emailed to the team or the channel, these will all be found over here. Within Teams, which makes it so powerful, is if you open up a Microsoft file within the files, you can then concurrently edit that document. So as opposed to the traditional sense of working with a Word document where you write something, you'll save it in your colleague account, you can both work on that Word document at the same time. You'll see Gary's typing something and then yours typing over here. The documents, you won't lose any information. So that's called concurrent authoring. If you hit on this plus sign here, it then gives you a whole bunch of additional features like Microsoft Planner. You can add all these things on left over here, which are incredibly powerful. Power BI, yeah. When writing a post within your post section or a topic, if you click on this first little button over here, you can then have a far richer entry. Otherwise, it'll just be a normal plain default text. So here you can increase heading size, you can highlight, you can underline, you can add tables, you can go really wild over here. Within the posts, if you just type a normal entry, say, hey, Jorn, what's the plan today? Unless Jorn reads through that whole post section, he's not going to be notified that I've specifically spoken to him. So if you want someone to be notified, you've got to @ them. So it'll be @Jorn or whoever you want to relate to. Otherwise, you can also choose the whole channel. So if everyone needs to pay attention to something that you're going to say, that'll be the channel @mention. Okay, this is very important because you can lose a whole bunch of information if guys aren't @mentioned. More for if you want to liven things up, you've got the emojis, you can add stickers, there's some GIFs over here. The files, again, this is what I was saying earlier on, they'll be displayed in the tab section, whatever you've added over here. Fairly easy, you can upload from your PC or from other channels, from OneDrive. It's really whatever you want to do, you can basically attach on this side. This icon over here is a meet now. So if you're busy typing an email or typing a message to each other and the point's just not getting across, you can hit that meet now button and boot up a video conference straight away. if the person you want to chat to or someone within that team is not available, so their status has been set to busy, you won't have this option. It will be this little calendar where you've got to schedule a meeting. Okay, so attachments. When you've attached a file, depending what type of file it is, you can either edit it within Teams, within a desktop application, or within your browser. So if you've used OneDrive before or SharePoint, this is basically working with that platform. It's important to know that you can only open this if it's a Microsoft extension. So Adobe PDF, for example, you can open it, but you won't be able to edit it. That's why on the bottom right over, you'll see it says open online only, or if you want to download it. In terms of the doc, the XRSs, the PowerPoint presentations, all those things, it doesn't really make a difference if you open it up within Teams, the desktop application, or the browser. You have the same functionality, just depends on what you're used to and what you prefer. To email directly to a channel. So this works nicely for us when we get support emails, especially now during COVID, where the things are slightly, we've had to move our work, change our processes a bit. So if someone sends me an email, you can just go to, so this one is just use the prevention. You go to that channel, click on the three little dots, get the email address, which will be this big thing over here. Oops. And then within Outlook, you just forward your email to that address. Then if you wait 2-3 minutes and go back to your channel, you'll see it'll be displayed within your post section. Depending on the size and the text of the email, you can either read it within here, otherwise it'll prompt you to view the original email. So this will download to your downloads folder. This is particularly nice for architects and general project guys where a third party will send them an important email, and instead of having it just located within their email address, email account, they want the whole team to be aware of what's been said, so you can track things down the line. Okay, so now we're moving to the left of the team screen. We'll start at the top, which is activity. So this is basically everything that's happening that you've been part of. Mine's a complete mess, so I use this filter option over here where you can choose what you want to be displayed. I prefer to have the mentions only. All the other things I'll eventually find, so that's each their own. Next up, we've got chat. So this is a one-on-one chat. So as opposed to using the posts and within each channel, you can then chat to one person individually. It's more of a private chat, and you have the same options if you want to add files. The organization is where that person sits in the organization. That does take some configuration. Unfortunately, we haven't done it on our side, so I can't show you that in our live demo. An activity is everything that this guy's been part of while on Teams. So as you can see on the bottom right, so via the files, there's all the documents that he's got access to. Okay, so within the chat, so if you're having a one-on-one with Christo and you decide, no, we need to bring in accounts just to clarify something, you can hit the add people tab on the top right, add that person. And then when you're doing that, because it was initially a private chat, you can then decide what you want this new member to have access to. So you can say no chat history at all, we'll discuss it. Or you can say no, the last 2 days she needs to have reference to, or you can say include everything. And just by the way, when you add a second or third or fourth person, within your chat, you'll start a new chat. So you'll still have your Christo chat in this case, and then there'll be another chat where you'll have all the other people. Calendar, this is basically a sync of your Outlook Core Exchange calendar. Over here, you can create new meetings. You can view what your day is up to. The new meeting we'll discuss later, that'll be sending a meeting through to a Teams meeting to recipients. But yeah, it's pretty straightforward if you look over here. Okay, the one thing that you won't have in Outlook is to add a channel. So although I've sent to Jorn and Mark, I can say I want everyone within the COVID-19/awareness channel to be part of this meeting. So as you type in, if you click on COVID over here, a little drop down, you'll see the different options for the channel. If you hit the scheduling assistant, it'll then take all the recipients that you've requested, and it'll compare the calendars to say this will be the best date based on your criteria, or the best time to meet. So that will be a real time within your organization. If it's someone that's not within Gravit8, then you won't have this functionality with those people, but just with these. Okay, so to personalize your profile in Teams, this is important when I was saying earlier on if you want to meet now. So if you're chasing a deadline, you don't want to be available for little impromptu meetings. So you'll change your status to do not disturb or you're busy. So to do this within the application, the desktop application, the top right, you click on your name and then you have the available option, which will give you, so if you click on the arrow next to available, you choose what you want. The set status message, it's very similar to the WhatsApp status message, which I've got no idea what people use, but if you want to set a status of your mood, whatever it's used for, go for it. Similar with the mobile app, if you click on the little hamburger, which is the top left, those 3 lines, you'll have these exact same settings. To find out what the industry norm is in terms of what's regarded as busy, do not disturb, you can click over here. Okay, so sending a meeting invite. So we start with Outlook. You make a meeting just as normal, but you'll have a Microsoft Teams meeting icon in your toolbar. If you click on that, it'll automatically change your location to Microsoft Teams, and it'll put in a little virtual meeting URL at the bottom over here. Again, you don't need to have Microsoft Teams to be part of the meeting. There are a couple of people who have attended the meeting now who do not have Microsoft Teams. So they're obviously part of this meeting, which means it does work. That's it. Within this link over here, so this will be for the person sending the invite, you can click on meeting options. And it'll take you to the screen where you can get everyone to either stay at the lobby and you'll allow each person as they arrive, or you can just let them bypass it. You guys came straight through to the presentation area because I wasn't going to sit there allowing 90 odd people in. If you can present, this says only me, but you can choose anything with specific people. It's up to you. This is one of the shortfalls Microsoft Teams has, which Zoom does beat them at, is only one person can present this at a single time. So my screen share is the best at the moment. With Zoom, you can have, I think, 2 or 3 different people screen sharing at the same time. But as with Microsoft, it's just a matter of time before they release that functionality. Jorn told me earlier today that the little put your hand up for question, hand raise, that Zoom currently has been rolled out by Microsoft in Europe. So I'll give it a month or 2 before we have it over here as well. Okay, so this is the setting the meeting options within the Outlook email. Within Teams, you have something similar. If you go to Calendar, we'll have this meeting options at the top. Again, it'll be the exact same settings. You'll be redirected to this website over here. Okay, so now within Teams, so you click on the calendar, you have a new meeting on the top right, and then you fill in all this information. Pretty straightforward. Again, the channel is the unique thing within Teams, setting the Teams meeting where you can choose up an entire channel as opposed to individuals or individuals and multiple channels. Okay, so more advanced stuff. So within the top of your screen now, you'll see a search or type of command. If you hit / you get all these options available to you. To be honest, I haven't even tried any of these, I haven't had the time, but you can watch a video to see exactly what each one does and how to call that information up. Sometimes you'll be sent within a post, within within a post within a channel, you may be sent an important message that you need to keep track of, or a URL with login credentials. If you click next to the message, you hit those three little dots, and you can save this message. So if you click Save this message, that'll add it to your little database of saved messages, which will be accessed via your profile. So click Save, click on your name on the top right, and if you click on Save, it'll take you to all messages that have been saved. So if you click on that, it'll take you to the exact point within the channel. If you don't want to save it anymore, if you felt you've dealt with it, you just click on the little ribbon and it disappears. Depending on how many teams and channels you have, you could have a massive amount of clutter coming in terms of notifications. So you can go to each team and decide what you want to be notified of. Okay, as you saw with mine, I've got 5 or 6 different channels, of which probably only 3 I really need to pay attention to. The other 2, I'll just if guys mention me. So if you go to the team, you click on the 3 dots, go to the top channel notification, and then you get to choose whatever you want. To start fine-tuning your team, so you've created your team earlier on, you can now start adding pictures. As I was saying, in terms of the emoticons and the stickers, all that, some companies may not like that type of relaxed attitude. So you can start editing this over here. So the fun stuff, you can expand that and say, I don't want any memes, I don't want any GIFs. The same with at mentions. If you don't want people to call out certain people, you can say everyone needs to be 100% aware of what's happening in these channels. So there's no at mention allowed. Team picture, team membership. It's, pretty easy. Okay, meeting notes is one of the things I just added about an hour ago. So within this meeting, or not necessarily this meeting, within a meeting in your company, so at our morning meeting that we have every morning, we've got a meeting notes section. In the meeting notes, it's basically like a wiki where you'll have Tuesday, 2 o'clock Gravit8 morning meeting, and then all notes that were taken during that meeting will be stored over there. And if it's a reoccurring meeting like we have, you've got historical reference in that single document. To set that up, it's not user-friendly at the moment. So you'll send an invite to people within your company. So you can't send it, meeting minutes won't work to people in a different company. So it's within a company. Once people have accepted, you go back to the meeting in Teams, and then you click on meeting notes. Once that's been set up, then whatever's been said in that meeting, so you're going to do this before the meeting, okay? So if it's during the meeting, people joining afterwards won't have access to that. But once the meeting minutes have been set up, within your tabs in the channel, you'll have a meeting minutes section. So you can cross-reference that at any time. You can additionally add stuff to it. Okay, so that's the presentation done. I'm just going to see how many questions I've got going over here. There are additional videos, Microsoft official videos and documentation, if you guys want to have a look at that. The official documentation does get pretty technical, so give it a try. Otherwise, you're more than welcome to drop us a mail and we can help you one-on-one on that. The Microsoft Teams video training, I think it's about 20 videos of about 2-3 minutes each. Okay, so let me screen share my Teams window here. Okay, so can everyone see this? Yeah, can you guys see this? Cool, okay. So I want to go to, let's start with Teams. Okay, let's hide this little window. Let's close that. I want some confidential stuff going out here. Okay, so I've made a COVID-19 team. So we want to create another one. So let's call it COVID-20. So you click on the bottom left, create a team, build it from scratch, private, and we can call this COVID-20. Hopefully not. And blah, blah, blah. Great. Okay, so now it's done. So you can add your members over here. I'm not particularly, or I suppose we can add, let's add Jorn to this one again. And I'll add some other guys later on. Something went wrong. Interesting. Sorry, Mark. Cool, okay. Okay, so now the team's created. Super easy. Let's customize it a bit. So manage team, settings, team picture, what picture do you want to change, just upload. So let's use this little dude again, save. Oh my goodness, okay, it looks like you can add the same things on a two pictures, let's do a tank. Goodness. Okay, well, pictures aren't working for some reason. Allow guests to create and update the channels, allow guests to delete channels. So if it's a guest, I wouldn't really give them that permission, so I would stick to someone within the organization doing it. At mentions, do you want guys to be able to at mention individuals or channels? I think that's quite a cool feature. So this team code is if you want guys to join directly. Okay, so this is a nice little security elements that Zoom have at the moment, but not many people have been implementing that, which is why this whole Zoom bombing is on the go. And unfortunately, it's not looking too good for them, which is a bit unfair because that's ultimately the end user's fault. Fun stuff. I'm not too phased about this type of stuff, but some other companies may be, so we can turn that off. And tags, who can tag? All members, owners only. Okay, channels. We can either add a channel over here. So we can go channel 1, add. Otherwise, you can just add it right over here. Channel 2. Okay, so now we've got our channels. So remember, general comes by default. General, and within general, you got post, files, and wiki. You can't do anything with that. You can't rename it, nothing. Okay, so now let's add another member. So again, you hit the little 3 dots, add a member. Let's add Dylan. Okay, Dylan's there. Another thing we can look at over here is within your team, you can choose what you want them to be, members or owners. Okay, so I trust Mark, so Mark can be an owner. Dylan, not so much, so he's going to stay a member. Okay, so now within this chat, so I'm not going to use this one because there's nothing much there, but it's in this COVID-19 one I did earlier on. Here's, if you hit on that bottom left, this is where you have your rich text. Okay, we can make that bold. This I want to highlight, screen. Oh, sorry, you can't highlight the header, sorry. What else can we do? Very. And then you can turn that off. Okay, that's the rich text. If you just want to type a normal letter, that's all that you're going to get. So now, what I was talking about earlier on in terms of the thread, if this is let's just say this is about what we're going to do on Friday, and this is what we're going to do on Saturday. You want to type over here. If you type over there, that's nowhere. That's a completely separate topic. You've got to reply within the topic. So go out. So that's Friday. On Friday, I want to go out. Saturday, drink. Okay. This is incredibly important, guys. Don't reply over here. It'll just add so much clutter that if you're looking for something, let's just say I'm 5 days, it's now Monday, and I want to know what I'm doing on Sunday with the team. I'm not going to look over here. I'm going to go to this specific post and then see what people are saying over here. Attaching a file, again, upload to my PC. do that. So that's a picture. Very easy. Okay, and that'll just be like that. And you can like it, heart it, thumbs up, whatever. So what you can do is, as opposed to, so look at this one, I've sent this, you don't want to go, you can either go, thanks, Gary, I got it, acknowledge it, or you can just give it a little thumbs up. Cool, thank you. Okay, as I was saying earlier on, it's the PDF version, PDF document, so it's obviously not Microsoft linked, so you can only open the document. Okay, no editing. Goes over here. If we open up the Word document, Teams, desktop, Apple browser. So it's going to open up within Teams. Here it is. Okay, and you can have multiple people open this. So if I want to work on this section over here, and another member of the channel wants to work on something further down here, then we can both do it. If someone else logs on, you'll see this little section will be highlighted with their name saying, Mark's busy editing this. Browser within Teams, if you want to open it up within the web app or the browser, hit this. I'm just not too sure which screen it'll go to, so I'm not going to do that. Within Files, so now in the channel, so remember, these are teams, and within each team you have channels. So now in the channel, you can click on File, and this will be everything that's been uploaded in that channel. Okay, so that's the picture. The awareness will have those two documents, and so forth. Okay, this is the email. So let's do that. Where is it? Okay, so let's do stats. So now I'm going to copy this email address because now our health minister has sent us something that's important to this thread. So minimize that, and you just paste that there. Okay, so it'll come through. It doesn't come through straight away, so we'll give it five minutes. Okay, so while that's going there, we can look at the top right to the profile. So it's saying presenting, so I am busy. Do not disturb. You can change this to anything over here. You see the mail's popped up. Okay. So this is quite a small mail, so I can just click view original mail. It works within Teams. If I wanted to view the original mail, because it's slightly bigger, it's got an attachment, you hit view original mail and it'll say, do you want to open this file? And you click and you just say yes. Again, this will be, so health minister says something, and you can say great news, and all the other members of the team can do the same thing, or thumbs up, heart, whatever. Okay, the meeting minutes, so I haven't set it up on this. This will be displayed, or meeting notes will be displayed at the top here. So you have post, file, wiki, and then meeting minutes. And within that, it'll basically look like this wiki, where you'll have, it'll be called meeting minutes, and then on the left here, you have the date. Over here, you'll have the date, which will then be collapsible as you add additional dates, new pages. So this is just for the wiki now, but the meeting minutes will be automatic. You click on plus, this is where we will add Planner, Power BI, PDF, whatever. There are loads, and there'll just be more and more as Teams becomes more mainstream, which it's pretty close to already. Command, we've discussed that. Anything else over here? Okay, so the activity is everything that's I've been part of. Chats again, so we look over here. Okay, so this is this meeting chat. So here's everyone's comments, and then let's just take your so this one over here. So this is a chat I was having with Dawn just to get this meeting minutes thing working. But if I want to add another person, I'll just hit over here, add, and we can add Mark. What do I want them to see? Everything, add. And you will see you won't pop up here somewhere. Yeah. Again, you'll have the same notifications on as with all applications, 7. So I've got 7 new activities. Same with chat. That little @ sign means one of my teams has @ mentioned me. So it's either Gravit8 engineers or the management, probably the management. So I'll just go over there and see what that's all about. Calendar, yeah, discussed that already. This is if you want to set up a meeting, just double click and do your thing. Title, recipients, channel. Let's do this one. So if we go to COVID-20, you choose what channel you want. So that channel, we want everyone who's a member of channel 1 to meet us on this date at this time. You send it off. Right. And then we'll just, I forgot what date it was, but it'll be here somewhere. Within Outlook, I don't think I need to show you guys how to do that. Files is all the files of all your teams that have been in here. Okay, let's check. Let's go back to this. See what the questions are. Okay, quite a few. Yes, I will share the recording. So I did start a bit late, so we'll start the housekeeping, but I'll send that to all of you guys as well as the transcript. So please, if you forwarded this meeting onto other people within your company, please just forward the document to them as well. So I'm just going to forward it to recipients that I've got on my list. What's the time limit for? I don't think there's a time limit for the video. So with Zoom, you've got 40 minutes on the free version. With Teams, I don't think there's any time limit. So the question is, when you come to that part of the meeting, my calendar icons disappear from Teams. Okay, so if you don't have the Teams option within Outlook, that's probably because you don't have Teams installed in your machine. So if that's the case, just drop us a call, an email, and then one of the engineers will just assist you with that. Can you import Google Calendars into Microsoft Teams? It's a good question. I'll have to get back to you on that. I can't see why not. Okay, when you add members to Teams, like I did the whole company, I just want to list members alphabetically. Not too sure on that. So just while mentioning this, if you click on the participants next to the red button over there, you can see everyone who's part of this meeting. So when you are presenting to suppliers, colleagues, whatever, you can mute individuals. So for some of you guys that came on earlier on, your mics weren't unmuted. If you click on the 3 buttons, you can mute that person. There's also, as the presenter, you have the option to mute all. Okay. Let's go back to the chat. Word format in Teams seems to get distorted. Okay, I'll check that out, Martin. What's Microsoft Teams can't do on the phone? As far as I'm aware, so Teams application, web and mobile, it should be seamless. So it's more the user experience in terms of finding things, and I suppose there will be more intricate stuff that's not. But let me look into that for you, Aisha. Outlook calendar appears on making a Teams calendar. That's correct, yeah. So whatever you've got in Outlook will synchronize to your Teams. But in terms of Google, you may have to import your Google Calendar to Outlook, and then Outlook will sync to Teams. Can anyone else got questions, guys? How confidential private chats? So one-on-one chat is confidential. No one will have access to it unless they log on to your profile or the person you're chatting to. In terms of security within Teams, it's data's encrypted in transit and at rest. So it's highly unlikely you will have any form of data leakage occurring. Okay, I think that's it. So guys, yeah, thank you for joining. Please drop me an email on some feedback, what you'd like to see next. I will probably do one of Microsoft streams, a quick 10-15 minute one just on how to take a recorded Teams meeting and just transcribe automatically, how to make the edits and how to send that off to your team. What normally happens with the recording is once this is, so within our Gravit8 morning meeting, for example, if we record that meeting, when you finished, that meeting will then be displayed within that channel. So obviously our meeting is not a team meeting, it's a general conference, that won't be accessible, but I'll export it and make it available. Okay, so thank you for joining. Please, send questions. I'll get back to you one-on-one with what I found. Kate and the Google Calendar, I'll definitely look into that. And Kathy, your question, and then Martin, yours about the word formatting. Awesome. Thank you very much. I hope this was valuable for you guys, and stay safe and see you guys soon. Cheers.